What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to Redline Junkies. My name is Zaquan, and today I'm going to tell you tips and tricks of how to install your mesh grill on a 2017-2018 Hyundai Elantra properly. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now guys, like I said, today I'm going to tell you tips and tricks of how to install a mesh grill on your 2017-2018 Hyundai Elantra. There's two ways to install this. And as you can see, I don't have my Hyundai Elantra today, and videos coming next week that will tell you why I don't have my Hyundai Elantra. But I do have a 2020 Hyundai Elantra SE, I believe it is. Let's get into it. So guys, like I said, there's two ways to install a mesh grill into the Hyundai Elantra 2017-2018, and most people, when they get it, they see it, it's the best body. That one mod changes the look of that vehicle. Now, when I did it, and I told you guys and I'll re-go over what I went through when I did it, but essentially, I'm not gonna pull the bumper off for any car in this video, because I think to be honest, after I thought about it, it's really unnecessary for me to really pull the bumper off. Even for you guys to see it, I might throw some clips in there, or some screenshots or things in there when I post the video to show you guys what things look like. But there's really only a few tips to installing this properly. Now, I did mine the hard way. Now, let's start with the two ways. So there's two ways to install. The first way is how people think the easiest way, and how most people do it. They take off the bumper, they remove the original grill, they order the aftermarket grill, they put the aftermarket grill, they put the bumper back on. That's the first way, and we'll go into details. The second way is you remove your original grill, you cut out your original grill, leaving the frame, and you install a handmade mesh grill, which is easier than you think it is. And I believe in my research, I believe there's one video on YouTube about it, but most people install just the aftermarket grill so that you can keep your original parts. For me, I'm going to talk a little bit about both of them. I did the aftermarket grill. I kept my original grill just in case I ever wanted to put it back in. But I believe in using your original grill and just keeping the frame and installing your own aftermarket mesh is actually the better way to do it. And I'll explain why. First, when you install the aftermarket grill, and like I said, I don't have my Hyundai Elantra. I actually wish I really did have it at this current point in time. Some things happen. But when you install the mesh grill, there's a plate that there's a piece, and it's probably still in here. I haven't taken this grill off, but there's a piece in the Hyundai Elantra, and you can see it in most cars in the mesh grill. People probably usually cover it up with license plates and stuff like that. But there's a metal bar that goes right here. In front of that, in your normal grill, there's a foam thing that goes over that metal bar. It's for protection, it's shock absorbing and things like that. You have to remove that in order to install the mesh grill. And I mean, really, safety wise, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but you do have to remove that, because that bar presses against the mesh grill and gives it that round look when you put the mesh grill. You literally have to force the mesh grill on there to make sure it fits. And that goes into my next thing. On the top of the car, and I'll pop the hood on, this piece right here, this is helping to hold, these rivets right here are helping to hold your front bumper cover in. It's helping to hold this whole piece in, because without this middle piece right here, this is a whole piece right here that unclips with this. Without these pieces, this part would just, and it's what's happened in my Hyundai, and I wish there was a way to fix it, and I don't know what other people have done, but this piece would just flap. And where this lines up with this, you know there's a line right here. That's why there's a rubber piece. You have to remove that piece. when you install the aftermarket grill. That piece is no longer there. There's no substitute for it unless you saw off the pieces that connect right here. You can saw those off if that's what you really want to do. I didn't want to do it because I just wanted to keep all the original parts. I guess you can order a second one. I don't know if you specifically can order that piece right there, but you have to remove that to install the mesh grill. And that keeps, like I said, when you install the mesh grill, if you don't install it, and you probably can't see it in my Hyundai Elantra, but there's clearly a divide and that piece moves like, and you know, it doesn't look as bad as you think it does, but you can clearly tell that it's supposed to be a piece there. And this piece behind this piece, you can see straight down into the bumper, and you can't really see it in there, but you can see straight down into where it connects at the bottom. I say the biggest thing to installing the grill is, I would say do it with 2 people. And I say do it with 2 people because, as you guys know in my previous videos when I talked about the modification I did to my Hyundai Elantra, you know that I cracked my bumper cover up here, literally in the same spot, and I cracked my bumper cover down here. And I did that because the clips that hold your grill in are so strong. I mean, so I broke nails, I scraped my hands. They are so strong that you literally cannot, you have to jerk them off. You literally have to force them off. Like, you literally have to step on them and like pull with all your might to get these clips off. Because if you don't, you won't get those clips off. And that's why I said you need 2 people, because one person to reinforce it. Because this bumper cover right here is literally called a bumper cover for a reason. That's not body molding. That's not old metal. That's not fiberglass. That is literally plastic. And if you don't reinforce it with someone holding things in place so that it doesn't twist and turn, because this is heavy when you remove it. If you don't hold it in place while you are ripping, you will rip it like I did. It literally, and I caught myself repairing it with some fiberglass and some glue. It repaired it, but I'm not a bodywork person. You can't really tell it on the low ends and in photos, and I'll show a photo in the video, but it was pretty bad. It cracked it, and then I had to make it worse to repair it. You don't want those mishaps. It actually looked better when I cracked it because it was 2 hairline cracks than after I repaired it. But I had to do it to fix it and then repaint it. It was cheap. Don't get me wrong. I spent like $100 trying to repair it. It doesn't look as bad. I just didn't sand it down all the way because the epoxy dries really quickly. But you don't want to be stuck repairing that. So I say it's a 2-person job. I was so excited to get it. I got it on Friday morning, one day right before I went to work. Got to the post office. It had just been delivered. I waited weeks for this because it came from overseas. I got it, and I was so excited when I got off work. I spent literally, I don't think I finished working on this grill because I didn't get home until around 7 o'clock that night, and I finished working on this grill like 2 in the morning. I was so excited, and I was trying to figure it out, and then I was trying to repair it after I messed it up. Guys, don't make my mistakes. Those clips are nothing to play for. These cars are meant to not be taken apart. Even though people do modify this in the third, get it professionally done or use the right tools. Have 2 people help you take it apart if you're gonna do it. But like I said, if you're gonna install that aftermarket grill, you're gonna have to remove that shock absorber. You're gonna have to remove this piece right here that holds the bumper at the top, and you're gonna have to force the bumper cover back on because it doesn't want to go back on because you have to, like, this grill bulges out if you can see it from the side, but those grills don't really necessarily bulge out. You literally have to force the bumper back on, and on the 2 sides there's 2 I think they're 10mm screws, which most screws in cars even to this day are 10mm screws. It's been going on for years. You literally have to force it back on. Force it back on. So you need 2 people, maybe even 3 people at the time when you put the bumper back on to install it properly. And to make sure you check these sides where it connects right here and connects on the other side. Make sure you check those sides to make sure that when they connect properly, because if you don't force it on there, like, I mean, hit it, make sure it clicks in place before you bolt the screw back in there, because the screw will go back in there even if you don't click it all the way into place. You're gonna have this place where you see the bumper is not even. So make sure you do that. So guys, that is the first, that's the most used reason. That's the most used option. This is what I did, what I thought most people did. I didn't know you could do this second option until I did some research after I had already installed the grill. Second option. And like I said, the biggest tip there is just pay attention to those clips. Get the people that you need. Take your time with that. Because, and I'm going to put illustrations in there because I don't have my Hyundai Elantra right now. And to be honest, I really wouldn't want to take that whole bumper off and put it back on there myself. But take your time, have at least 2 people to help you do this job. Next, second option, remove the bumper as you have to, and I think you have to remove the headlights too, because they hold the bumper in as well, I think, if I remember correctly, and they're just screwed in, and then clips at the bottom, you pull them out. When you remove your grill, you saw out. Literally, you could take a power saw, whatever you want to do. It's easier with the power saw, it's quicker. Take a power saw, cut out the inside of the grill and just leave the frame. Saw it down, and you take a mesh, any kind of mesh. I mean, it could be a screen door mesh. It could be, you probably want to do something a little more sturdier than a screen door mesh. Metal mesh, chicken wire. There's a bunch of different options, cheap options that you can do. Put that mesh on there. Because the mesh grills, the one that I got is plastic. That plastic piece, you can actually order the mesh on eBay. It is held on by a metal bracket. You literally just bend that metal bracket and you hold it on. The grill actually comes in 2 pieces. Even the aftermarket world, you 2 pieces. And you just put the mesh on there. I think that is a better option because you don't have to worry about fitment issues. Aftermarket, you always have to worry about fitment issues. Mine, oh yeah, and I also broke one of the clips off, trying to force it off, and it broke right here. You can't really see it that well, but it broke right there. So like I said, be careful. But you already know that your stock grill fits. So if your stock grill fits already, all you're doing is adding a mesh. You're just cutting out the middle part. The frame is what is gonna secure it to the bumper. And if you already know that your stock grill fits, why not just use that? If I had known that when I installed my grill, I probably would have went that route, because now that I think about it, when you modify a car, yeah, you want to keep your original parts, but most of the time when you modify a car, you're not going to go back and undo it. It's just being completely honest. Most of us don't go back and redo it. I would never undo the modifications on my Hyundai Elantra. You're going to resell it and whatnot. Let's be honest, unless it's something easy, or you just got a bunch of money, you're not gonna, I mean, if you got a bunch of money, you even more not worried about it. So, you know, just use your original grill. That's what I really recommend. But if you're gonna go the aftermarket route and just replace the whole thing, just make sure that you have 2 people, you pay attention to those clips, you support it. Even if you have to tie it down, make sure you hold it in place, because when you pull, it's gonna wanna come with you. That bumper cover is gonna wanna come with you. It says, you know, back in the old days, or even now, I don't know if they still do. I've never had a tooth pull, but when you see someone hop on the person and they clamp down on the tooth and they pull, that's exactly what you're gonna be doing. Call yourself the dentist. Call yourself the dentist, guys. You know, because that's what or tug of war, whatever you want to call it. That's exactly what you're going to be doing with these Hyundai Elantra grill. And I haven't messed with this grill or anything. I'm not going to modify this at all. But guys, definitely pay attention. Have the support you need. have the tools, I would recommend some pliers, a flathead screwdriver, and that's just to take the grill off. That's after you already got the bumper off. You definitely need a 10mm socket, and however you want to get that done, I wouldn't recommend a wrench. You're probably not going to get the wrench that's small enough to go in there, and you're not going to get it in there. So I'd recommend a socket, because it's a few clicks and you're out of there. And a few clicks, you're tightening back up. But guys, I touched on the 2 ways that you can get a mesh grill on your 2017, 2018 Hyundai Elantra, and this goes for the Sport or the Limited like I have. But besides that, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, let me know in the comment section below. Always hit the thumbs up. If you like what you see, let me know, guys. Subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.